It's January 20th, 1980. Jimmy Carter has just announced that the USA team will not be participating in the 1980 Olympics in Moscow. This report has come from the fact that in 1979, Afghanistan was invaded by the Soviets. Led by Soviet General Secretary Leonid Brezhnev, the Soviets invaded Afghanistan in 1979 to help prop up the communist government of the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, also known as the PDPA, against a growing insurgency. As usual, in the midst of the Cold War, the Soviets, looking to spread communism, took over Afghanistan, hoping to continue to corrupt Asia and the Middle East with their communist ways. As a result of the invasion of Afghanistan, President Jimmy Carter issued an ultimatum stating that he would not be sending a U.S. team to represent them in the Olympics. This caused a great stir among the American people. President Carter also stated that the Soviets would have 1 month to withdraw from Afghanistan for there to be an American team sent. After an April 24th meeting, U.S. OC President Robert Kane told the International Olympic Committee, also known as the IOC, that the United States Olympic Committee would be willing to send a team to Moscow only if, quote, there was a spectacular change in the international situation. Before the May 24th deadline, Lord Killonen, the president of the ICO, arranged to meet and discuss with Carter and Brezhnev the situation to prevent such an Olympic disaster from happening. After the meeting, nothing was changed, and Carter reaffirmed the U.S. position to boycott the Olympics unless the USSR withdrew. The international Olympics federations protested that the pressures by the United States and other supporting countries for this boycott of the Olympics was extremely inappropriate and selfish, merely to achieve a political motion, and that the victims of this action would simply be the athletes. President Carter spoke nationally to the United States citizens, expressing his feelings and reasons why he was willing to boycott the Olympics.
This invasion is an extremely serious threat to peace because of a threat of further Soviet expansion into neighboring countries in Southwest Asia, and also because such an aggressive military policy is unsettling to other peoples throughout the world. This is a callous violation of international law and the United Nations Charter. It is a deliberate effort of a powerful atheistic government to subjugate an independent Islamic people. We must recognize the strategic importance of Afghanistan to stability and peace. A Soviet-occupied Afghanistan threatens both Iran and Pakistan and is a stepping stone to possible control over much of the world's oil supplies. The United States wants all nations in the region to be free and to be independent. If the Soviets are encouraged in this invasion by eventual success, and if they maintain their dominance over Afghanistan and then extend their control to adjacent countries, the stable, strategic, and peaceful balance of the entire world will be changed. This would threaten the security of all nations, including, of course, the United States, our allies, and our friends.
The response by the American people varied. Here today we have Shoshana Buxton, who followed and understood the situation at the time of the Moscow boycott. Miss Buxton, what was the American feeling at the time during the situation?
There was a lot of anger and frustration about the Soviets using military force to invade a country, and the question was what would be the best response from the United States to this unprovoked military assault on a neighboring country.
Alright, thank you. Ms. Buxton, were you for or against the boycott of the Olympics?
I was for the boycott. I felt the United States had to take some official stand of protest or opposition to this uh, unauthorized and illegal act by the Soviets to show them that the world would not just sit back and accept whatever they decided to do, and that we had to make it a public statement.
All right. Do you think that President Jimmy Carter could have handled the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan any better?
Well, he always had the military option of taking U.S. troops, putting the boots on the ground in opposition to the military invasion, but that can easily escalate into a world war situation. So the military option always has to be the last option. He decided to pursue the diplomatic option by doing the boycott of the Olympics and protesting in diplomatic channels, which only goes so far, as the world knows from history, with brute force dictatorships like the Soviets. And at that time in history, Jimmy Carter was perceived as a weak president in foreign relations. And many people believe that because of this perception of him as a world leader, that the Soviets felt that they could and would take military action that would have no consequences to them in the world sphere.
In the end, it seems as though 65 countries who had been invited to participate in the 1980 Olympics will not be doing so for various reasons, including support for the Olympics as well as economic. Countries such as South Korea, Liberia, Canada, China, Egypt, Norway, Uruguay, Virgin Islands, Sudan, and many, many more will not be participating, which is a sign of protest to the Soviet invasion, as well as strength among many countries as far and wide as they are apart. This was Drew Stromer from TABC News, taking off. Have a good day.